Hey everyone, it's Blue Lizard Jello and welcome back to Everything Possible in the Surge 2. Last time we entered Gideon's Rock and we explored only one out of the three paths that we have to in order to set the trap for the nanite machine that we know as the Delver. Now before we jump in, I just want to talk to Hawk real quick because there is a little Easter egg. If you pester him enough about their names, he'll actually slip up and tell you their real names instead of Hawk, Killswitch, and Roach.
Still hunting, eh? Can't even remember three people? Maybe that's why you don't have any companions. I'll repeat it one more time. I'm the boss, Hawk. Our tech guru is Killswitch, and the repressed weirdo is Roach. Got it?
You would think I did.
God damn it, how hard can it be? It's Hawk, Killswitch, and Roach. That's it.
He's starting to slip up.
Hawk, Killswitch, Roach. Okay, fine, I'll admit it. Hawk, Killswitch, and Roach are not our real names. You happy now? I'm Joe. The nerd is Matt, and the creep's name is Steve. We use aliases. It's a union thing.
Important? No, not even a little.
Good luck out there.
But it's really nice to get to know our fellow hunters. Now last time we chased the nanite machine, well, we didn't really chase him out of, but we took care of the wild boar trail. Now ideally, we want to again not follow the machine, but find out what path he is not on. So Killswitch, I need to find out where is the creature hiding now.
No need. Yeah. Let's see. Right now it seems to be hanging out at Mustang Hills. That'll be the ride of a lifetime. Go for it. I'll support you. From the sidelines. Goodbye.
So we could talk to them about their real names, but we now need to head to the Cougar Trail because we know the creature's hiding at Mustang Hills. We will have to fight the nanite machines anyway, but just to be on the safe side, we'll kind of save them for last. So the Gaia robots, let's check our inventory in terms of schematics. Okay, so I have the arm plate, the body plate, and the faceplate, so I just need to cut off a leg. So let's do that with this Gaia robot, even though we will be fighting plenty of them in this episode to come. Watch the shield slam there, that's alright. Oh, and I didn't even show my build. Shame on me. We'll be doing that here in just a moment. There's the cut on the leg. Perfect. Oh, and look at that. We actually got a second cut. So my question in the first episode of Gideon's Rock was whether or not you could get two cuts on a single Gaia robot. Turns out you can. So let's grab all the loot that the robot just dropped, including the schematic for the leg gear. Perfect. And now let's take a moment just to see what gear that I am currently using. I have two weapons favorited, the Gaia Lancer and the Jag-22 Eterna. This is the one-handed weapon that we got from Captain Cervantes in the last episode, both of which have been upgraded to Mark V. My armor stays the exact same, and then implants have also stayed the same, but just as a reminder, metavoltaic, deflection energy, directional block, ray capacitor, omni health observer, tissue hardening injection, and the aggression amplifier. So up here towards CI2, this is where the Cougar Trail is, and still not an arm piece on them, so let's just go for the chest. Let's see if I can't get a backstab. We do get a bonus to our damage. That was interesting. Kind of saw me coming, that's alright. Nice and quick kill on him. There we are. So as we go up here, there will be a Gaia robot. We do have one of the lost seeds over here, though, with a couple of the hunters nearby. But we also have an audio log just over here, so let's give that a listen while we collect a little bit of loot below us.
Welcome to Gideon's Rock, Jericho City worker number N335895C. You are now eligible to take a break from your daily responsibilities and enjoy nature's beauty. Powered by CREO's Envirotech infrastructure system. Our purified air, partially organic trees, and cuddly animatronic critters are even better than the real thing used to be. But remember, spend your city-mandated leisure credits wisely. The City Council will not reimburse your time in case of dissatisfaction.
So during that audio log, I picked up two things. I picked up an implant that was the Manslayer, so it's something that we have gotten before, so I only got the materials, which is just fine by me. And then I also got a lost seed in that cave underneath. So we just need a couple more of those lost seeds in order to fulfill the robot's wishes. There we go. There's an armor piece finally on the arm. There's a backstab. Perfect. And there's the cut. That should complete our hunter set, which is great. Even though the 6th set B bonus is a little bit lackluster, as I've already mentioned. And there we have yet another lost seed. There's the Gaia robot just up there, but instead of going and attacking directly, I recommend going up and around. By the way, unfortunately, this cave does seem to suggest that maybe this is not Connecticut. Grizzly Bear Cave. The last living specimen was spotted here. Well, I may not know everything about bears, but I don't remember grizzly bears ever being part of Connecticut's ecosystem. I could be wrong. Let me know. So the reason we go this way instead of just attacking the Gaia robot are these two hunters. We don't want to fight both those hunters and the Gaia robot, so instead let's switch to our laser pistol and let's grab this one's attention. And then just back up. He can shoot all he wants. Coming a little bit. Oh, and it looks like this one's coming to join the fight too. That's alright. Back up. We'll attack whichever one gets closest fastest. Alright, I'll just decapitate you. Fine by me. I've already been attacking your chest. Good deflection there, and don't even know if we're going to get the cut. No, we do not. And now we're free to take on that robot relatively safely. And at this point, they're dropping Mark V materials, and I would like to get more weapons up to Mark V, so I'm going to be focusing on the weapon armor. Nice deflectional block there. And there's already the cut. Excellent. And we'll go for the headgear just in case. If we can get the cut, we'll see. Probably not this time around, and that's alright. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Good loot as is. And then up here there is a tiny little cave, and we have another toxic filter. So that's another implant that, since we already have, is simply going to be turned into material. And let's make sure that our tissue hardener is also being well stocked. And might as well even use that last one. Before we go up the stairs, head over this way. This door we're going to open from the other side really soon. But over here we do have one of the EMP starfish modules. And as we unlock that, down there is where we got our very first log about Captain Cervantes. And there, of course, is the medbay station. Grabbing some more implant circuitry right there behind that tree. Now we're going to head up. We have another Gaia robot in a moment, and we're going to go fight while we listen to this audio log.
Welcome to Gideon's Pond. In 2057, our patron, Athena Guttenberg, donated hundreds of exotic, genetically enhanced fish to our pond. Look at them frolicking around in their natural habitat. It's a picture to die for, isn't it? Gideon's Rock, where Mother Nature takes a vacation.
Dealing very quickly against this Gaia robot. Oh, and we almost had the cut, or actually we did get the prompt for the cut on the head. Sadly, just a little bit too late in order to get it. That's alright, gladly take more tungsten Mark V for our weapons. We have over 30,000 scrap. Maybe, just maybe I should have invested that a little bit before we left. That's okay, we should have an opportunity to go back to the medbay very quickly, and definitely before we fight the boss. We're going down this mag lift. This door, you probably already guessed it, is that door we just saw, so a nice shortcut directly back to the medbay. We do return to Gideon's Rock later in the game, so opening up these shortcuts, even though they might seem trivial now, could be helpful later on. Here is the second repeller, but in order to activate it, we need to get the Hunter's keycard. If we ran up to the station, it would kind of tell us where the Hunter's keycard was, but frankly, it's not very well hidden. But do take a moment to admire some art, such as the first sketch of Iron Mouse circa 2016, aka when the original Surge came out. We also have this lovely statue, created September 24, 2019, Fox without fiddle, and that one speaks to me. Over here, a couple pieces donated by Jonah Guttenberg himself. The Earth is my office. And if we play our cards right, we're going to be meeting Jonah Guttenberg very, very soon. Can we get a backstab? Not quite. That's all right. So there is another enemy here. So just dodge and weave, dodge and weave. Get the cut, which means we're also going to get some health back. Ooh, nice dodge there. Got to applaud that. Nice try. Get the cut. And we'll just go ahead and collect the loot, even though we're going to be coming back down this way anyway. There we are. Lots and lots of loot. Over 31,000 scraps sitting on us. A little bit worrisome. Now we have an audio log and we have the repeller. I'm going to listen to the audio log and just kind of mosey around, because if we activate both, you eventually do get two audio playing simultaneously, and well, that's just not fun for anyone. So let me play that newest audio log.
The monster is coming. Did you hide the key card for the others?
Of course I did. Like a real pro.
Where'd you stash it?
Over there. No, not there. The other side of the room. You see that statue?
Yeah, what about it? It's just a piece of junk.
It's a piece of art, you Philistine. Good vintage, too. My mom was born that year.
Figures.
Woohoo! We're back online. This should buy us some time.
So that is repeller number 2. This door only opens once you've activated this repeller, but with it open, we can extend this bridge. That's going to lead to Mustang Hills, but do not forget to head back here, grab this loot cache. We got a new implant, the Nano Purge Injection. This new injectable uses one battery to remove all nano buildup and increases the nano defense by 300 for a long time. It does take 5 core power, and it does come with 2 max precharges unupgraded. And considering the boss of this area is nanite driven, that could prove to be rather useful. You can see in Mustang Hills we're getting a little bit hazy, and that's because we will be seeing a lot of nanite enemies. There's a free battery here. I do not need it because all of my injections are full and I already have one saved, so I'm just going to leave it in case I need to run back. But as soon as we approach, here we have another Gaia robot descending from the ground, so we'll have to hop down there and see what's going on potentially. Oop, actually not the injectable that I wanted, but that's alright. I can work with that. Cutting out the right arm once again, getting that Mark V material. Oh, that was interesting. It didn't allow me to do the jump attack I was hoping for. Oh, jumping too quickly. And let's just quickly get that kill. Restock. Almost a good thing that I left that battery, although I don't need it quite yet. So we can see some nanite sludge around. There should be one hunter moseying around. That's going to be a very nice shortcut back to the med bay. But before we do that, hidden behind these pushes, we do have a path underground, including another mag lift, and it'll tell us a little bit behind the scenes with these robots. Oh, and I could have actually stored a charge there. That's all right. So the robot descended from the ground, and if we take a look here, the goddess Helena coating makes robot look classy during the day. We also have the MG security robot chassis, keeps Gideon rocks safe at night. In other words, it was dolled up to look all nice, but underneath it's an MG security robot. And yes, I did see that there was a button over there. We'll be pushing that soon, but first, let's listen here.
The underclass is on the rise. Radical terrorism is devouring our city. AID will strike without mercy. Segregate all agitators until we can find a permanent solution. Our field agents are authorized to carry out capital punishment on the spot. No questions asked. Trust no one. Keep your eyes open. Call us today and make Jericho safe again. AID. Attack. Insurgency. Disease.
And now we know what AID stands for: Attack, Insurgency, and Disease. Going through this cave will put us out at the waterfalls right by the trap. We do have a loot cache here with another implant, the Critical Power Enhancer. This is a booster type implant that takes 7 core power, and it increases our damage by 8% and elemental damage by a whopping 25%, but only while our health is low. So again, very, very situational there. So no more loot, but take a look at this button down here. This lowers the platform that we just fought the robot on. So was someone actually down here raising this robot? Or was there an actual proximity sensor? Not really sure that I know the answer, but you can see that it is now missing. So if you fall down there, yes, you can get back up, but just understand that is why that was down. Now there is the hunter. I'm gonna go for the head. Always like getting materials if I can. Nice quick kill. Nanite sludge all over the rocks here. Over this way, if you want, you could hop down here and get right back to the medbay. There is Hawk sitting right there along with the river. Nothing else down here though for us. We do have up here another reclamation buddy implant, so we're just gonna get some materials and then just the river pouring down into the waterfall. Make sure that we have our starfish equipped. We can open this door. Now we won't actually be taking this. We are going to be going this way. I find it to be a little bit easier. But this is just such a perfect shortcut, because right here on the other side of this door is the medbay. Hawk, Kill Switch, and Roach all waiting for us. There's the medbay. Yes, I should use all my scrap. As we continue down this shortcut, another door that opens. This is just going to be something that we use later on, but just take a look at all the enemies. We have a broken down Gaia robot sitting in some nanite sludge. There's a large nanite enemy, another one in the tree, and there'll be several of the smaller ones you can see just milling about in the field. I definitely think it is much easier to attack from this side, especially because there's one loot cache that is guarded by not one, but 2 of the Gaia robots. So up here we do have another audio log. We're going to listen to this as we slowly make our way down the hills and collect any loot along the way.
It's exactly 8 p.m. and this is Jericho Action News. Six weeks ago, a terrifying nanite-based plague known as Defrag was discovered. AID have announced the release of a new experimental drug. A spokesperson proclaimed, "You can feel safe at home."
With these broken down Gaia robots, you need to quickly get out of the laser's view, and then you should be able to target the head, and fortunately, one cut when they're broken down like this will kill them. You can actually stand behind the rest of their own body as a shield. So if you watch here, they're going to start with the laser, and then if I just get back here, completely safe. Usually 2 hits is enough for them to start their melee attacks, get the deflection, and there is the cut. Nice and easy. This can be more challenging if the nanites haven't taken over, because if you have 2 mobile robots and they end up activating at the same time, that is not a fight I would wish on anyone. But inside we get another new implant, the Kinetic Inject Charger. This is another booster type implant, takes 7 core power, but as we perform a finishing move, it adds 1 pre-charge to the currently selected injectable. That is honestly really, really valuable. So instead of using a bunch of energy to store one, you can just use a finishing move.
And there you go. Just press the button and the platform moves the statue to the maintenance area.
Oh, come on. Why do I have to take the stairs? That piece of junk can walk on its own.
Yes. It can also kill if you let her meander around unsupervised. Remember the Jones family?
Right. Thanks for bringing the statue down, by the way.
Wait. I thought you brought it down.
God, these things creep me out.
So it talks about those moving platforms that we just discovered. You saw that I looked down there to show that there was an audio log. That is the last one that Roach is looking for. We can collect it either by dropping down or by going this way. Why I like going this way instead is because when these large nanites are in the trees, you can actually use the Molotov cocktail to do a lot of damage and then just bring them over to you, usually one at a time. Just be careful about that attack. And that was unfortunate that we just knocked him down there. Oh, I do want to hit this guy. There we go. And if we really wanted to, well, actually, what we could do is lay a mine for our little friends here. We will be getting the cuts here as soon as we can.
Adorable critter, eh? Yeah, the big one's giving birth to
And this guy's gonna die nice and quick. That's fine by me. They only have one cut possible. Even though you can dismember their head, all you're going to get is normal material. Whoop, and I just triggered, I think, a big one as well. I was only trying to go for the little one. That's alright, we can just kill him really quickly. But the head just gives the normal material for a head schematic, whereas the arms will give a new weapon, and that's what I want to get. Careful with that, not blockable. Okay, and we may not get it on you. Nope. So we're gonna have to be very careful on the next one to only target the arms. Might as well just top off. We have the battery to spare. And you know what we could do is actually just break it using our lace pistol, now that I think about it. And then just get up. Since we have the battery, refill our battery, but there it is, the Nanite Beast Claw. This is a set of punching gloves dealing 159 damage, 15 impact, 110% attack speed, 45% energy gain, 85% stamina consumption, and 30 nano damage. I really like the nanite weapons, and I am even enjoying the punching gloves, so to have a nanite set of punching gloves is even better. This is going to lead to the repeller tower, but back here over this nanite sludge, this is where we would have dropped down into, and here is the final Cervantes log.
Hey, Cervantes. You look like you've seen a ghost.
Yeah, I just overheard Hawk and his boys. They didn't see me, but...
But what?
They're trying to screw us over, Jack. They want to slit our throats and our fleet keep the reward for themselves.
Shit. We gotta confront them.
Oh, come on. If we say anything, they'll blame it all on us. Pretend we made it up to screw them over. We have to get ahead of them.
Yeah, and how do we do that? We can't say a damn thing.
We'll think it over, okay? Talk later.
So that was just proof that Cervantes was up to absolutely no good. Just trying to use whatever range damage I can against this individual, because if I stand in there, you can see that the nanite was building up. I'd rather not get that, so let's cut off the head. Get out of the sludge. Almost got that full build up. I probably will when I go in for that loot. Yep, a little bit. Wow, it took about a third of my health there. Nothing I want to mess with. Oh, and I didn't even get all the loot. There we go. But that is it for enemies. Now you saw that I opened up this loot cache. I didn't collect it because the audio log was still going. Yet another implant. This one is another injectable, the super oxygenating injection. For 3 core power consumption, and it comes with 2 max pre-charges, we get 50% stamina regeneration and 50 stamina stored for every 1 battery. Not too bad. Really not too bad at all. I have heard of some very powerful builds using that, especially in the late game. So just to give you the full lay of the land, oh, don't forget to go under the stairs. Grab another toxic filter, just turns into our Mark II implant circuitry. This is the door that we opened, which will lead right up to the med bay. But believe it or not, we're actually almost done with Gideon's Rock. So let's head over here, pry these doors open. Just head down this tunnel. As we head outside, there's going to be a lot of electric mines on the ground. They deal almost no damage. They do stun us for a little, but that's okay. We have a hunter up there. We have some nanite enemies. What I like to do, honestly, is just to dash around as quickly as I can. to trigger all these so I don't have to worry about him while I'm stunned. Same with these nanite enemies. There we are, got another one. So that should be all the mines, I believe. Here's another nanite enemy. Dealing with you nice and quickly, just careful because we were standing in the nanite. Dealing with another nanite enemy over there. I broke this log. Now while we don't have the force hook here, there is another audio log.
Jericho City has become synonymous with the American way of life. Different cultures come together in this unique melting pot to join hands and create a better tomorrow for all of us. With an employment rate above 15%, Jericho's job numbers rank among the best in the world. Jericho City. It's like coming home.
So I just picked up a large pile of scrap. We saw this from the entrance to Gideon's Rock a long time ago. And then through this mag lift that is currently sealed, which we need to unseal in order to get to the repeller, there's a little cave back here. No loot, but if you're still playing hide and go seek with your banners, that is an excellent place to hide it. But up here, we get some more Omni cells, and this is going to unlock that mag lift and call that hunter down to us. Nice try going invisible. Well, didn't even get to finish his sentence, but that's it. Enemies are down, Gideon's Rock is clear, and I can activate the final repeller.
Propellers up and running, rockets ready to launch, trap primed. Time to tear that hellspawn a new one.
At this point, it is time for us to make our way back to the medbay and prepare for the final battle. Now, I'm extending this bridge, but we've already gone over here. There was a lost seed right over here, but we already collected it early on just by cutting through the trees. But instead, if we head up here, we do have one more lost seed to find. We are directly over the medbay. Right around the corner, there is the final one. We can now turn in that quest to get that weapon. But we're going to do that when we actually approach the CREO Institute of Technology. So before I talk to any of these, let me go ahead and drop some scrap off, do a little bit of improving, and I'll be right back while we talk about preparation for the final boss of this area. I have changed up my implants a little bit for this fight, still using metavoltaic and the deflection energy converter, still using my directional block analyzer, but I've now switched out the muscular enhancement injection, so again getting a little bit more damage. Now I'm not using an electric weapon, although I could, but just the extra 10% damage, definitely worth the battery. And I'm using the nanite shatterer, giving me an extra 10% damage against nanite enemies. I just have to remember to take that out before I fight anything else. And then as far as other improvements, all I did was pour all of my scrap into my core power. So I'm now up to 48, 538 health, 230 stamina, and really no improvements to my battery just yet. We'll be changing that up relatively soon. But I also did create the entire Gaia armor set for Highball. But since we have all those audio logs, let's turn them into Roach.
What now? Steve's gone. I'm proud Roach now. Thanks. You got them all. You find out what happened?
I definitely always believe in telling the truth when at all possible.
I get it now. Bastard made us turn on each other. But it's not just his fault. The others, they fell for it too.
So we got one large pile of metal scrap from turning those in. But actually, that's not all. Even though it doesn't tell you, if you tell him the truth, you do get another one-handed weapon, the Jag-27 Rainfall, dealing 146 damage, 15 impact, 110% attack speed, 50% energy gain, and 85% stamina consumption. This is the quest reward at the end of the Puppet Master. Right, let's give Hawk a quick talking to before we head over to the trap, which has now been used, and the boss down below that awaits. Now the easiest way to get there, honestly, is just to run over here and drop down carefully, and that's exactly what we'll do in just a moment.
Wow, you trapped the creature like a rat. Now it's battle royale time. Good luck out there. I'm betting on you. Good luck out there.
Not a whole lot of new information there, but as long as you carefully drop down the rocks, you won't take any fall damage. There will now be some nanite enemies surrounding it, but if we just rush the hole and drop down, and the fight begins. This is the Delver, the creature that we have been seeing more than once throughout our playthrough. In fact, this is the creature that, in effect, let us out of our jail cell at the very beginning. There are 3 phases to this fight. Phase 1, we have to block 4 attacks with our directional block in order to stun. It is going to change throughout the different phases, we'll talk about that. But if you can't directionally block, this boss can be quite a challenge, so I highly encourage you, if you haven't learned by now, to practice. In this first phase, all we need to do is destroy his first health bar, and then we'll move on to phase 2, and we'll talk about the mechanics in order to get the 2.0 version. When he goes underground, simply walk away, allow yourself a moment so you don't get hit like I did, and then turn around, and as long as you're quick, you can usually get a hit or 2. But the third time he goes underground, make sure you are running and get ready to dodge, because he will be jumping at you just like he has here. But the first phase can go extremely quickly. You can see here, just one more block and I should be able to finish him off. There it is, we are now in phase 2, where we need to start worrying about getting the 2.0 weapon. The weapon 2.0 is obtained by destroying all of his armor at least once during the battle. In phase 2, the only 2 body parts that are armored are his arms. Now, the best way is to still use your directional blocking, but he doesn't use melee as often as he does in phase 1. When he clings to the ceiling, he's going to throw down these nanite blobs, wait until they land, and then go and destroy them. He's actually using his own armor, his own health to send those down, and if you don't destroy them, he will reclaim them, and in other words, reclaim his health. This bite attack very easily blocked, and it is always followed up with the melee. Good opportunity to get your directional blocks. And in phase 2, one attack immediately following one of the directional block stuns is enough to break his armor. So we just have the one arm left, block the bite, foolishly go into your injectable menu. Anytime it shows this do not block or cannot block symbol, make sure you dodge out of the way. You'll take some significant damage if you allow that to hit. Back on the ceiling, so we're going to unlock and once again just destroy these blobs as they hit. There he is, get up nice and close, hopefully get the bite. There it is, block. Directional block, one more. There it is, so the armor is destroyed now in phase 2, so I can just focus on taking him out and prepare for phase 3. We now have to block him 5 times in order to get the stun, but to be honest, I don't think that directional blocking is the way to go. Keep your distance, bait this long range dash attack, hopefully don't get hit like I did, and then charge up one of your moves, and it should break whatever armor you're currently aiming at, or at least you'll get very close. Alternatively though, you can use your lace pistol. That can break it in usually about 10 or 12 hits. So you can see one bit of armor destroyed, that was his head. Lots of nanites are going to be filling this room, so if you want to build up your nanite defense or use one of the injectables to lower it, that can be exceedingly helpful. Nice charge attack, now the body armor is destroyed. Manage your energy, manage your injectables carefully. Even though this may not look too terribly difficult, he can hit like a truck. That was his right arm, although I do not believe you need to even use the arms or destroy the arms if you did so in phase 2, but I did so because it does make them less of a target because they're a little bit smaller. You can see me getting far away to try and bait his long range slide attack. What he's doing now is he is actually regenerating some of his armor. That's okay, he will occasionally do that, but you only need to destroy it one time. There's the left arm destroyed. So all I need now is to focus on the legs. And that was the right leg. All that remains is the left leg. Here he is regenerating a little bit of armor. Using the rest of my Omni cells to get that armor down. Bait that slide attack. And that's it. Now all we need to do is focus on killing the Delver. And why not do so with some style? Some Molotov cocktails, some proximity mines. And don't forget to take absolutely unnecessary damage and almost die when you're doing really well. The Delver has always suffered with low self-esteem, and killing him this easily, it just wouldn't be right, so please give him a fighting chance. And there it is, the Delver has been destroyed. We do get the Nano Brain, but we also get the Helix of the Delver version 2.0. This is a staff class weapon with a damage of 152, impact of 21, 100% attack speed, 50% energy gain, 105% stamina consumption, and 25 nano damage. And by golly, it just looks so cool. Just on looks alone, I absolutely adore this weapon.
Third time's the charm. There. You have to obey me. Break my warrior out of prison. Run. Smash through the walls and clear the way. I'll try and control you as long as I can.
And we've just picked up the Reaper's Testament heavy-duty weapon. Damage of 126, impact 22, 110% attack speed, 65% energy gain, 130% stamina consumption, and 29 nano damage. And we just learned that Athena had programmed the Delver in order to break us out of prison, or at least I'm assuming we're the warrior, but I guess that may remain to be seen. But it's time to escape, and this door is going to open up right by the waterfalls just outside of the medbay. And as we sprint, ignoring all these tiny nanite machines, past the broken down Gaia robot who may get up to shoot her lasers at me, when we head back, it looks like only Roach remains. Both Hawk and Killswitch are now gone.
I ain't in a talking mood.
Good talk there, Roach. Well, I guess it's time to head over to the CREO Institute of Technology to deliver the Nano Brain to Harold, or hopefully to Jonah Guttenberg himself, and then at the same time we'll turn in those lost seeds to get our just reward from the Gardener robot. But that is going to do it for this episode of Everything Possible in The Surge 2. I hope you learned something, and if you did, please leave me a comment below and let me know what you learned, and if I missed something, anything at all, or if you have your own tips and tricks, maybe on how to defeat Delver, let me know that too so we can all keep learning. But I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.